What is going on, everybody? No Doubt Flat Out back again today, and I'm just gonna talk about some things in this video. So I got some F1 2015 gameplay in the background here. I'm just doing a quick like a 5 lap race at the U.S. Grand Prix on Legendary AI. So something that I think the people are all over are having a lot of problems with on any sort of game is just like league racing. Um, it's something that everybody kind of like starts, and I don't think people really know what they're getting into when they start doing it. Whether it's being a racer, trying to own something, start a league, gather people, recruiting for crap, whatever you want to say that the proper role would be. Um, you know, just everybody I think kind of gets into stuff a lot deeper than what they should be and a lot deeper than what they need to be. Um, so I kind of want to address something that probably a lot of the people watching this video know about from watching other people because we kind of all know each other. A lot of my viewers do, because we're still a pretty small channel, but uh, something that's been happening. So, and this league racing video will pertain to everything. But one thing I want to talk about is NASCAR specifically, because I think that it's a lot less organized, a lot less careful, um, and a lot more risks seem to be taken simply just because the cars can handle the contact, and if you touch somebody, unlike Formula One, you're gonna be okay. Someone may get pushed up the track, someone may hit the wall, but they can usually recover just fine, so everybody doesn't really think anything of it. And that's kind of generally a good attitude to have about it. Well, yeah, it may not be perfect, the race may not go down perfect, but it'll be alright, simple crap like that. But what I think where the problems come in is like I'll say like too much of a high level of stuff like probably emotional involvement. Like everybody wants to race with their friends, and that's what it is about. You gotta have to understand that even for the people that are really competitive, when people do league race, they do it because they want to have fun. They want to gather with a group of people. Usually, it is their friends, and then they want to have a good time. They want to do a race and have some fun, and just do what they love doing, but just with other people. And that's kind of the basic formatting for how league racing started. And I think that the problem lies with just people getting overly involved in everything and taking everything like way too personally, if you know what I mean. Like, for example, in like some NASCAR stuff that I've been involved in recently, like everybody is just constantly like fighting and bickering all the time. Like there's not really a break from it. Like usually if like someone's having an argument, then once that like kind of calms down, then it's like somebody else just starts like getting trying to cause problems, or they get upset about something. And it's not really it's not really even called for. Like this kind of stuff is not at all what it should all be about. So I think everybody needs to like everybody that's in a league right now, because a lot of leagues seem to be struggling. I like the most watched NASCAR league on YouTube, Nork. I haven't watched any immediately recent videos, but over the past few months I've seen some, and it seems like they're even struggling. A league that a lot of people in the NASCAR community, really respected and kind of looked up to or used as inspiration to try to make a league for themselves. Even they're having their problems and their struggles. They had to switch back to older games at one point, like a year or so ago, probably, for the sake of lag being in the games. And I'll get back to lag and stuff later. But I just think that once people are together for a certain amount of time, they do kind of bond and grow closer, and friendships kind of strengthen. So then when it feels like everybody's like really involved with everybody else, if that makes sense, if everybody's like really close friends, really think of each other as as maybe best friends, or I mean, I don't know how else to word it. I mean, it's simply like that. Everybody thinks that everybody's their friend. So then if something happens in a league race, then it's taken very, very personally by everybody, because everybody's been together for a long time, everybody knows each other, and sometimes it's just something like a simple mistake that somebody didn't mean to make, but it can turn into, an argument, a fight, people leaving things, people getting kicked out of things. And, I just think everybody needs to just calm down sometimes and take a look at everybody else's point of view and see where everybody's coming from. It some of these things, if people get into arguments, they turn into stuff like people, not being able to even have a race because everybody's trying to, like, basically everybody else is there just to wreck them at that point. Because, like I said, everybody takes stuff personally. So, well, if he wrecked my friend, or if he did something mean to me, or whatever you want to say happened, then, everybody tries to dish it right back out, and it really may not always be the best thing to do for everybody as a whole, even if you're just thinking about yourself. You got to think about how it's going to affect everybody else in there. You know what other people may have going on outside of the league. I mean, there have been people quit stuff just because they couldn't handle the pressure and the fighting and all this stuff, just because they use league racing and stuff as a way to escape and get away from all the dramatic things and all the bull crap that happens in everyday life. So then when they go into more fighting and drama and basically more bull crap, then it just makes it a lot harder for everybody in general, because the person that the person that it was the original victim maybe of a fight or something, they're hurt, and the people that are trying to maybe get back at them, get revenge or something, that person was obviously hurt and is trying to even the score, I guess would be the right term for it. But I just think that a lot of problems are caused by people being overly involved. And that just basically means people being overly involved with each other. They try to take everything way too personally. My mom showed me a picture of a T-shirt actually that she's seen on the internet one day, like last week, and it was like for like someone that races like dirt tracks or something like that. Like, it had a late model on the front of it, and then it had a picture of a helmet, and it said, "When the helmet goes on, you have no friends." And while that kind of seems maybe a little bit over the top for just a virtual racing league, it still makes a lot of sense for the general community. Like, everybody needs to stop taking everything so personally, and to a certain extent just watch out for themselves in the races, but they kind of need to mind their own business. Like, they don't need to get involved in everybody else's crap just because it may involve someone else that they know, or things like that. And I think that just what leagues are really about is just going in there to have fun. And when some people take things too personally, or they try to get involved in stuff that really isn't their business, or they try to cause problems, or they try to ruin the race for everyone else because they're maybe having a bad day. I mean, I just think there's just so many different factors that if they add up in the wrong way, that it can really, really mess up leagues. And so, league racing shouldn't be I'll say it shouldn't be a big deal. And I think everybody does do it partially because they love the competitive aspect, the competition, and they just love doing it in general. And that's fine, but I don't think it needs to go as far as what it has with some people. Some people screaming, yelling, cursing in league races, trying to get people to cheat to benefit themselves. I mean, come on, guys. We're like, what? Most of us are probably high school or college age kids that are just doing this in our spare time. What are you gonna gain from, what would anybody gain from trying to mess up somebody's league race on an Xbox or PlayStation or PC, whatever system you're on? I just think that people don't realize that things just get overly exaggerated all the time, and nobody ever slows down to take a look at it. And while some people make mistakes, everybody makes mistakes, but I just think that when people have a hard time, moving on because they do take these things personally, like I said a lot this video, um, you know, I just think it causes more harm than good, when everybody just kind of sits and stews on it and lets it get in their head and makes them mad at somebody, even though they really shouldn't be or wouldn't be if they think about other things. Um, you know, it's just kind of difficult to understand what some people's mindset is, what they're going through, what their point of view on a lot of things are. Um, but it just kind of goes back to basic principles, whether or not you're even religious, like simple stuff just like forgiving somebody. I mean, it's like you don't have to do it even, if you're not I personally am a religious person. I believe in God, but even if you're not, even if you just, kind of forgive somebody and try to get along with them again, it can really just ease your general conscience. Sorry if you guys can hear something. There's like construction going on outside. Sorry if you hear that in the background. Um, but I just think people feel a lot better when they don't when they don't fight all the time. I think when everybody kind of minds their own business or tries to be polite to everybody, it turns out a lot better. Nobody gets offended. Nobody feels the reason to defend themselves or other people, and everybody can just kind of sit back, relax, have a fun race. That doesn't mean that everybody has to be slow or that everybody has to be at the exact same speed of racing the entire race. Because if everybody raced exactly the same pace, there would be no winners. But and I think that some people have issues with that too, but that's kind of a different subject. So as you can see here in this race, come across the line, led all 5 laps of the American Grand Prix, had a little bit of contact with Nico Rosberg at the end after a diving move, and he kind of came over and clipped us and spun himself around, but that's all right. Still got the win, legendary AI, so that's pretty good. It was Sebastian Vettel. That was just a quick race. It really wasn't anything important. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts on league racing down below in the comments. Please, nothing inappropriate, or it will be removed. But I just think it's something that should have been addressed because I think a lot of people are having a lot of different problems with it, from what I can tell. So, anyways, that's all I got to say. So for now, this is No Doubt signing out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.